Good morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia, and welcome to Complex PTSD TV. My name's Linda. I'm your certified trauma recovery coach, and it's Monday morning down under, and trying to get everything moving. It's been a very interesting weekend, to say the least. If you're here for the first time, welcome, and if you're here as part of our morning class, it's great to have you with us again. Remember to hit like, subscribe and share, because right at this moment in history, people all over the world are suffering, and especially those who've kept busy and they are now facing the fact that they've got anxiety and depression. And, you know, when people with mental health challenges have always been in that other group and not me, it can be really hard for them to reach out and understand that there are answers at this time and place, answers that they may have not heard of because, as we know, complex PTSD and the information that I'm able to help you with has only been around over the last 5 years, and each year we're making more and more advances in the information we have, so much so that a lot of mental health professionals don't have the information in relation to complex PTSD at this time. So it is important. It's our way of saying, here, I love you enough that I want to share really good information that can help you on your way to recovery, on your way to healing. So this morning, I want to share something that's part personal and part not just professional, but it's part really going to help those in need. I spent many years in recovery, obviously, but also after I'd been in bed for 2.5 years, I was extremely obese. So all the medications, the mismanagement of my health and the medications had put so much weight on me. And then when I was eventually able to get to a gym, so that was around 10 years ago, and then when I was eventually able to get to gym and exercise, I could only do like 10 minutes at a time, 15 at the most, so then I'd go twice a day. And it's been a long process to get where I am today. However, the ability to lose weight through it all has been something that has driven me insane, just to use a colloquialism, not to say that, you know, it's made my mental health worse. It's just a really personal thing that I don't feel comfortable having excess weight, because I don't feel that it's who I am. Not just because it was because of the breakdown and the medical mismanagement, but because it's not a true representation of who I am and who I feel that I am. So, good morning, Laura. So, I've been on an incredible journey where I've searched for answers. So, I knew it wasn't food because I'd been through the whole food stage of, even to the point of getting food delivered in case I wasn't managing my calories right, going on, you know, every damn time there is. But the thing was, I learnt how to count calories back in my 20s because that's what we did, because you weren't allowed to have fat. And then I got on keto and that started helping a lot of it, but I still didn't know why everything that I was doing. So I developed trauma-informed movement, which helped get a lot of my cognitive functions back on board, which was awesome. But I still didn't know why the weight wouldn't shift. So I kept researching, and then one day I got sent a video. It was a keto video, but it was about cortisol. And the snippet of information the video gave me was that when we've experienced complex trauma, and specifically childhood developmental trauma, where our brain doesn't develop in the same manner that somebody who hasn't experienced child developmental trauma does. Okay, so I went, all right, that's the information I need, that our trigger mechanism which is only supposed to go on and stay on for 60 to 90 seconds, is broken. So I have cortisol continually flooding my body or my nervous system. So I need something that will stop the cortisol from being overproduced. And that's when I came across the Ashwaghanda. Now, I've had it in various brands and strengths and everything. I always try and find the highest strength. So, let me work it so you can see it. So that's the latest brand that I've got. And if you're in Australia, Chemist Warehouse has a number of brands. Now, if you're like me, I can be really skeptical about natural products only because I came from that generation of skepticism, but I can assure you I take natural products and they do work on me as well. So I went and got some, and at the time I thought, yeah, but my sleep's not interrupted, I'm doing okay. But I did tick the boxes for all the what excess cortisol is doing in your life. But I wasn't aware of it. And this is the problem, the challenge that we face with complex trauma. Our normal comes from our childhood, and we don't know a new normal until we go and do something different, then stop doing it, and then we realise the benefits. And this is what happened for me. I have been taking the ashwagandha for at least 2 months, I'm pretty sure. And then last week I ran out. So about a week ago, I ran out. Okay, Ali says, okay, the name is Ashwaghanda, Ashwaghanda. So it's literally spelt like it sounds. Sorry that it's back to front. So yeah, last week I ran out and I went, I'm fine. So at that stage, I hadn't really thought about what's it done for me. I just took it on the premise of I wanted to reduce cortisol. And if it did that, then that meant that I could continue on my healing journey and I would continue to get well. However, little did I know just how much it was doing, and it blew me away. So Saturday morning I woke up and I knew I was in a triggered state, and I knew that I was highly emotional, and what happened was I got up early in the morning and made a coffee and was just going to sit and read. I instantly fell asleep again. I got up at a later time, made a coffee, was going to read again, fell asleep again because I have Saturdays off. And then by the time I woke up around 1 o'clock, and I woke up in this highly intense state of being triggered and overly emotional, I knew that if I didn't get up and go for a walk and do trauma-informed movement, that I would just be written off for the rest of the day. However, I knew that there was something more going on. And at first I just thought, I'm triggered, I know how to move through it, she'll be right. Sunday morning I woke up and I wasn't in a triggered state, but I was having a really bad anxiety panic attack. It was just full on. And I went, oh my goodness, this is dreadful. It just blew me away. So again, I just about ran down the chemist to get some ashwagandha because I knew and I could see then how much it was benefiting me. So for me, it definitely reduced the constant state of being triggered, and I didn't know. So the excess cortisol is like we're constantly running on that triggered state. Our body, our whole nervous system doesn't shut down from that triggered state. So on the Saturday morning, I could literally feel how much that was happening. And it wasn't pleasant at all. It definitely reduced panic attacks. So I'd gone so long without one. Not that I suffer from anxiety and panic attacks, But just even that hint of, because I'd worked through a lot, but even that hint of a pause of, this doesn't feel good, it had all gone for me. It definitely made my sleep a lot deeper and more restful, and made it possible for me to stick to a really good, healthy sleep regime. So I wouldn't get up at the same time of night anymore. I would sleep longer. I wouldn't get up in the middle of the night and think, oh, I'll just grab a snack, All of that had gone. And I was even at the point where I could feel that I just didn't need to eat, to the point where I had to make myself eat during the day because I wasn't feeling hungry. All right. It definitely increased the amount of work I was able to get done during the day, and my memory. I remember I was sitting here typing in information from the computer from one program into another, and I went, oh my goodness, I'm actually remembering like whole emails and whole names that I may not have heard of before. And I was like shocked, and I didn't understand at the time that was the ashwagandha. And really it's that decrease of cortisol running through my system that's made it all possible. What else did it do? Yeah, and I was beginning to I was feeling more grounded in myself, okay? So it made it possible for me to begin feeling exactly where the feelings were in my body, and to be able to shift them around inside of me as well, and to process them. And I haven't done that. I don't think I've ever done that in my life. So I wanted to share this with you because it was so profound, the changes that had happened for me from taking this. And there are so many other changes. Like now, I can take a thought and I can break that thought down into multiple layers to the point where I have not only a deeper understanding of me, but a deeper understanding of the world around me and how it operates. And also taking a good look at me and how I will have been perceived in the world and not known it, okay? Because I love helping people, I did, because we have social gaps. There's just no two ways about it. But I could begin to see now how people must have thought I was a pain in the butt because I was always saying, well, what about this? What about that? Or you could do this, or you could do that. And it just has begun to change so much in my life for the good, because I'm not on this constant state of hyperarousal, shut down, and so much more. And that was another thing I noticed on the Saturday and Sunday too. I slept inordinate amounts, big amounts of time, slept so much that I haven't slept in ages. And that's when I know it's the hyperarousal, the trigger's gone off, because I don't normally sleep a lot of hours now. Happily, it's just my routine. Brenda, the only ingredient is the ashwagandha. That's it. There's been scientific studies on it. You can Google it. All the studies are there. Really, it's a natural product, 100% natural product. And look it up, do the research, see if it's for you. The uses that I've mentioned, that it reduces the cortisol levels, can help reduce stress and anxiety, help reduce symptoms of depression. The key thing is for me though, and this is for me, and you've got to work out what works for you, is the dosage on here is not enough for me because of the complex trauma and because of how many decades it's gone on for. All right. So I personally take an increased dose, and I find that works really, really well for me. Sorry, it's very emotional still. I'm still really emotional. Not just because of the impact that it's having on my life, but the excess cortisol does make us more emotional. Well, for me, it certainly gets me more emotional. And it'll be another couple of days probably until I am able to be back on track and just be able to put my emotions in order. So I want you all to do your research. Look at if it possibly may work for you. My attitude to natural things is that it's natural. If it's not going to work for me, I'm just going to pee it out anyhow, all right? And there'll be no difference. The other product I was given, which I'll put the name of down below so that it doesn't appear backwards, is L-carnitine, I think. It's L-carnitine, but it's got an extra bit in it. But I'll put a photo down below of what it is, because the ashwagandha and the L-carnitine both have now helped my whole body, with the exercises that I do, begin to drop the size. Okay? And for that, I'm grateful. It may take another year. I don't care. It can take 2. But the thing is, my body is now functioning in a manner that it should, because I don't overeat and I do exercise, and it wasn't working. And the way I looked at it is, we all have the same physiology, as in what's happening inside, what the brain's driving. So if I'm doing the norm, then why aren't I losing weight? And it was definitely related to this whole excess cortisol. And I didn't have an excess cortisol test because I know from me in the past that I have tests and they say you're within the normal range. I had an iron test after 3 kids and they said you're within the normal range, but I couldn't get out of bed, I couldn't move. But I take 1 iron tablet, every day for the rest of my life. And it's just a natural thing that I take. So we've got to know our own body. We've got to know what's a possibility for us. I do recommend that you talk to somebody who's a healthcare professional, all right? Absolutely. Because ashwagandha does come with some things that it's not recommended for. Only you will know whether this is right for you, whether you can try it, whether you can't. And also, if the ashwagandha isn't right for you, make sure you research other things that might be right for you as well, because there is so many things that can help in so many ways that are natural for us as well. My understanding is that if you have excess cortisol as well, that there is medication that you can take for it. But in Australia, they're a bit cynical about it all. So I just found this and it's working and I'm happy and I won't be running out again. I bought 2 different bottles this time because I was just like, if this is stopping me from being in bed for hours at a time and giving me my life back, I'm all in. I'm sold. It's working. For the first time, something is working. And it's getting my health back on track, which is priceless. Absolutely priceless. So I will put the names of the products down below and look it up, Google, and see if it may or may not work for you. It is definitely working for me. All right, have a great day. Thanks for joining in, ladies, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.